I want to welcome folks back to our 47th weekly Zoom interview. And my guest today is Ian Stebbins. Good afternoon, Ian. How are you?
Not too bad. Thank you.
Where are you coming to us from?
I'm coming to you from Farmingdale, Maine, just right next to Augusta. I go to Halldale High School.
Very good. And the reason I have invited you is that you were one of our participants in the 25th annual Margaret Chase Smith Essay Contest, and you were the third place winner in that competition. So congratulations.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So the topic this year was the Electoral College, to get students' thoughts on that. And it arose because it was a very important element of this year's presidential election, as it has been for the past couple of presidential elections. Had you been following the presidential election?
Yeah, I had. Really, like, I myself, I'm not like a super like political nerd per se, but I definitely like to keep up with the elections and what's going on in the current news.
Were you able to vote in the presidential election?
I wasn't. I actually missed it by a little bit, but I will be able to vote next election. So.
Okay. And had you already at all been thinking about the Electoral College, or was it more prompted by our essay question?
I'd actually already been thinking about it. It's become like a pretty popular topic. I think it was a really good topic selected for this year's essay contest. I mean, the past couple of years, especially, when you have a candidate who doesn't win the popular vote, but, wins the electoral, obviously, so they win the presidential election. That's going to be something that's, a popular topic.
Yeah. We were a bit surprised at the thoroughness with which most entrants considered the issue. So young people, teenagers, were actually giving it some thought and had done research and had lots of interesting things to say about the Electoral College. So again, we were very pleasantly surprised about that. We thought it might be too much of a constitutional issue and not really be one that appeal to teenagers, but like you say, it does have real world consequences that we've seen in the past several presidential elections. So can you give people an idea of what the gist of your argument was about the Electoral College?
Yeah, so my argument was, kind of just based on what Americans want right now and, what our country is about. Like, I cited a couple like research surveys, different polls, and the majority of Americans actually right now didn't want the Electoral College, and a majority actually supported eliminating it in favor of a popular vote specifically. So if you think about the percentage that might just not want the Electoral College as it is right now, or want some type of change, that's probably even higher than 55%.
And one of the reasons that the library chose that as the question, not only because it was in the news, but it's actually something that Margaret Chase Smith had very strong opinions about going all the way back to the mid-1960s. She was advocating that the Electoral College should be abolished in favor of just direct vote by the people. And it really didn't get very far in the mid-1960s, and it's actually going to be difficult to change because since it's in the Constitution, it would have to be changed by an amendment, which is very high thresholds to be able to do that. So we started doing these conversations once we were into the pandemic and realized that people couldn't come to the library, and looking for ways to reach out to an audience. And so one of the things that I've been doing along the way is asking people, how has your life been affected by the pandemic?
Honestly, it's obviously been a little rough, just like it has for everyone, but I've done okay. Me specifically, it's given me, the chance to try new things, get outside more. School is obviously different.
Yeah.
I much prefer to be in person right now. Halldale is operating in a hybrid model.
Yeah.
It's a little tough, but I'm still able to do and have been able to do a lot of the things that I do in a normal school year. Halldale, I've had three sports seasons. We're
Mhm.
gonna have a prom and a full graduation and like a senior celebration.
Mhm.
Still was able to run Key Club and National Honor Society and still all these wonderful things. So
Mhm. Good. What's your hybrid schedule like?
so I'm at school Mondays and Tuesdays, and then Wednesday, Halldale does 2 blocks of classes in the morning,
Mhm.
and then the rest of the day, teachers offer like special intervention time, and it's also a time that we use for club meetings and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And then the other block of students will go Thursday and Friday, and I'll be online.
Is that the way you've done it for the whole school year?
Yeah, pretty much. There has been some flexibility. Like I have a few classes with um, 3 students, 8 students. So like some of those smaller ones, we've been permitted to come in on our online day, so we
Mhm.
can, take a test or get that extra class time. Because I think that class time is really important.
Yeah. Do you have a sense of what quality of education you feel you've been able to get with this hybrid model? Do you feel like it's been diminished?
Um, I do. Um, I mean, I think, the teachers and everyone who's really like planned this out has done such a great job. I know it's not easy for teachers either.
Mhm.
I think it's been, honestly, I think it has been diminished a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, but I still think a large portion of it is there. And in such a weird year, you know, I'll kind of take what I can get.
Yeah.
I think it's been a great job.
And you said you're going to get to have a graduation. How's that going to be held? Indoors, outdoors?
Right now, planning on an outdoor graduation, hoping it doesn't rain. Uh, we'll see.
When's it scheduled?
My graduation is scheduled for June 6th.
Oh, so that's coming up. Is that next week? Uh, Getting close.
Getting close.
Yeah, it's and will there be any, if it's outdoors, will there be any limits on the number of people you can have?
Yeah. I think each student is allowed 4 guests right now. Um, and I think part of the reason we're able to have so many guests per student is because my graduating class is only about 60 kids. So
Really? Now, do you,
yeah.
do you know, has that number gone down because of the pandemic?
My class has always been pretty small. Halldale's like generally a pretty small school. I don't think that number's really changed
Mhm.
because of the pandemic.
Mhm. And you said you're going to get to have a prom. Where are you going to have that?
Our prom is going to be outside
Oh,
at
interesting.
a place called the Vaughn Homestead in
Oh, I
Hollowell.
know that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
super
is,
awesome.
in a way, it's sort of behind the high school if you go through
It
the
is,
woods. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Very nice. When is that going to be?
That's going to be June 4th. So pretty much right before graduation.
Very good. Well, I hope you have good weather.
Thank you.
And you said something about was a senior class day or something like that, or senior event?
Yeah, we're going to do a senior award ceremony uh, coming up soon. I don't know what day exactly, but basically, uh, you know, local scholarships, stuff like that are all
Okay.
announced. Students get to receive those and participate.
Mhm. So I know you're a good student because I know you're going to good school, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But what do you like to study in school?
Um, I think sciences are
Okay.
definitely my favorite.
Yeah.
I like natural sciences,
Mhm.
much more than like physics per se. But I enjoy like a wide variety of topics. I
Mhm.
haven't really found like one ultimate class that's been my favorite so far,
Mhm.
but definitely favoring sciences.
Very good. And I know, well, you said science. Have you had any science classes this year that would be lab sciences?
Um, so I took an AP physics class this year,
Okay. How'd that go?
and it actually went pretty well.
Have you had the
Um,
exam?
I didn't actually end up taking the exam because it wasn't going to give me any credit, unfortunately.
Mhm.
So I figured, why waste the money? But
Mhm.
my class only had 3 students,
Mhm.
so we were able to spread out and do all the labs we needed to.
Mhm.
The content size was reduced a little bit by AP, which
Mhm.
also made it a little more manageable,
Yeah.
especially because, like Wednesdays, we didn't have a class a lot of the time. So it's one less class a week. And then, operating online and in person, it's also tough with like the quality of learning.
Mhm. And you've mentioned that you were involved in quite a few extracurricular events. You're involved in Key Club. Well, what have you been doing during the course of the year during the pandemic for Key Club?
Um, so in the fall, one of the first things we did was a trunk or treat.
Okay.
Um, so normally we put candy in our trunks and kids will come along and it's just like trick or treating, except everyone's trunk is like decorated with a different theme. This year we like prepackaged bags of candy by
Mhm.
the entrance. So the kid would just like get their candy and they'd still get to walk through all the cars and see all the themes that we decorated. But it was just like a little more COVID friendly that way.
Yep. What was your theme?
My theme was soccer.
Okay. And do you know how many kids turned out?
I don't know exactly, but it was a pretty good number.
Mhm.
I was really happy to see, um, you know, people still coming out
Yeah.
in October. Even though we were in the pandemic, we were able to do it safely. Everyone wearing masks, so I was
Mhm.
happy.
Mhm. And you said that was in the fall. Have you been able to do other things during the course of the school year?
Yeah, we've done a few other things. We always make like Thanksgiving baskets that we donate, so kids just bring in various donations. Right now,
Food
uh,
donations.
food donations, yes.
And where do those
Uh,
go?
uh, they go out to like families in need.
Okay.
Um, Usually like reach out to different places and try and get those where they need to go.
Yep.
And right now, well, recently actually, it's over now, but we did a virtual auction.
Mhm. As,
So
as a
because
as a fundraiser.
a fundraiser. Normally we do like a bulldog bistro dinner in our cafeteria, and it's like this Italian night. We invite everyone in. We have an auction, have dinner. But this year we couldn't really invite people into the school or congregate with all that much food, so we decided to do a virtual auction instead.
How'd that go?
Pretty well actually. Um, we were kind of at the point where you can start to reach out to some local businesses again for donations.
Mhm.
Places are starting to do better, so that definitely helped out. Um,
What were some of the things you had to auction off?
there's loads of like gift cards and candles, and just really like local people kind of donating things in
Mhm.
support of like the Key Club and our goals.
Mhm. Very good. How long have you been a member of Key Club?
This is my 4th year.
Mhm. And why did you join?
Um, I just kind of like I've lived in the same place for pretty much I don't know, 12 years.
Mhm.
So I've gone to Halldale since kindergarten, and I've always been part of the community, and um, everyone's just like, it's really been great. So
Mhm.
I, I felt like I had to give back best way I could.
And if people don't know, Key Club is the high school version of Kiwanis.
Correct.
Is the Kiwanis Club, do you have a local Kiwanis Club that's helps you out, or that you help them out sometimes?
Yeah. I think Kiwanis Club in Augusta usually does a couple events, and they're always looking for volunteers, and we'll have like a small group of Halldale students go and help out.
How many students are in your club?
I don't know the exact figure, um, but a pretty sizable amount. I'd say maybe around 30 students.
And were you ever able to meet together, or did you have to do everything online?
Um, so we just did our meetings like after those Wednesday classes
Okay.
that I talked about, kind of in that free time block.
Yeah. Do you have a teacher advisor, or are the Kiwanis people your advisors?
We have a teacher advisor.
Mhm.
Um, our librarian, Mrs. H, is our advisor. She does a great job.
Mhm. And then you're also a member of National Honor Society?
Yes.
And what do you do for National Honor Society?
Um, so we so like at the beginning of the year, we kind of set a few goals. We wanted to be able to give out scholarships
Mhm.
to graduating seniors who want to pursue education.
Yeah.
Something that the National Honor Society at our school usually does.
Mhm.
We wanted to be able to give out multiple scholarships this year. So we kind of started the year with thoughts of doing a few fundraisers. So we did a bottle drive. We were selling like Halldale lanyards. We also did this one fundraiser where um, we asked teachers to, like dye their hair or
Mhm.
shave their head or dress up in a costume for a day or do something fun. And we set like $20 as like that kind of threshold that they had to hit. So we did
Mhm.
like a coin drive.
Yeah.
And our NHS advisor, my advisor as well, one of our teachers, Mr. Dumont, actually ended up shaving his head.
Mhm.
So that was fun. Um, yeah, we also did a really big donation to the Maine homeless shelter. We
Mhm.
just had, students bring in paper products, um, cleaning supplies, necessities, things like that.
Yeah. And are you going to be able to give some scholarships?
Yeah, so we're planning on giving. I don't know who they're going to because we have like a separate scholarship committee that decides.
Mhm.
Um, but we're giving out two $500 scholarships this year, which I'm
Very
pretty
good.
happy.
Yeah. And then you mentioned athletics, and you've already referenced that soccer. Well, you said, was it Halloween that you did something for soccer?
Yeah, that was the trunk or treat. I
Yeah.
decorated
So I
my.
assumed from that soccer may be one of your sports.
Yeah, I play soccer in the fall.
And how was your soccer season?
It was great. We got to play 12 games, I think, so it was a little shortened.
Yeah.
There was no like real playoffs or um like conference championships just because back in the fall things were a little more strict.
Mhm.
But we were able to do like a school district cup
Mhm.
alternative. So it's just a lot of things um like doing a school district cup, like those alternatives
Mhm.
really kind of were how a lot of schools and a lot of kids operated throughout the year.
Yeah. And did you have to play soccer with a mask on?
I did not. So I didn't play soccer with a mask on in the fall. Went inside for basketball in the winter.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I was surprised. I was so surprised that we were permitted to play basketball. Like I was shocked.
Yeah.
But masks for basketball inside in the winter,
Yeah.
and then now in the spring, track and field, also masks. Once we compete now, we're allowed to take them off while we're competing or if we're at a distance. But yeah.
How was it playing basketball with a mask?
It was pretty tough. It was a hard adjustment. I mean, you're sweating so much, your mask would just get soaked, and then you have like a 2-pound piece of cloth or paper mask on your face, and you're just like breathing it in and out. It wasn't the best, but I mean, better than not playing at all.
Yeah. So how did the soccer season go?
Our soccer season went pretty good. Successful team. Gosh, I think we only lost 1 or 2 games. Super fun. It just felt awesome to be back doing something. Because the previous year, there were no spring sports.
Right.
Over the summer, there weren't really any like summer sport programs or anything like that. So
you had missed out on track and field the previous spring?
Yeah.
And how'd the basketball season go?
Basketball season went well also. I think, it was tough because we'd like be on the schedule to play a school, and then, there would be some type of COVID complication. So our game would have to get moved. And then there was just like a few stretches where we had like 4 games in 6 days or something like that, which was tough. But I mean, overall, good season as well.
And what do you do for events for track and field?
So I think my best events are probably jumps and pole vault.
Okay, pole vault.
Yeah, I kind of do a variety. I think I've done like 8 different events this year. So I just kind of like to spread it out. We actually had our conference championship yesterday, and they split up our conference into 2 regions for safety reasons. So we had a nice group of 7 different schools at Halldale last night.
We get to have it right on your home turf.
Yeah.
Very good. Is that the culmination of the season, or do you still have some more meets coming up?
So we have 1 more meet after that. I think partially because there was no spring season last year, the MPA decided they wanted to do a state championship for sports. So we are going to have a state track meet, and that's June 5th. So right in between prom and graduation for me.
4th, 5th, and 6th.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to be heading up to Brewer to compete in that.
Okay. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
So let's talk about the future now and tell people where you're going to be going to college in the fall.
Yeah, so I will be attending boating college in Brunswick this fall. Super happy about that. I'm just ready to, dive headfirst and see what's waiting for me.
Have they told you yet what to expect in the fall, or are they holding off a while to let you know?
I think the goal is pretty much regular classes, which, as you might expect, I'm also super excited about that.
Why did you choose Bowdoin?
So for me, I think I mentioned earlier, I kind of like a lot of different subjects, a lot of different classes. and Bowdoin kind of offered like that large variety,
Mhm.
and also offered me like the chance to continue like sports and fantastic clubs and participate with their outing club,
Mhm.
all these awesome things.
Were there other schools that you were considering?
Yeah, there's a few other schools. I applied to, I think, uh, a few more than 10, maybe 11 or 12 different places. I got waitlisted at quite a few. And when it came down to it, I just looked at Bowdoin and just decided that was the school for me.
Very good. Well, I hope it goes well for you.
Thank you.
And it sounds like at this point, you don't really have a sense of what your major will be. You're interested in a lot of different things. You said you're interested in the sciences.
Yeah. So Bowdoin does have one major that's kind of drawn the most of my attention,
Mhm.
called EOS, which is Earth and Oceanographic Science.
Okay.
And they have a really good program for that. You don't have to declare a major until the end of your sophomore year,
Mhm.
so you have plenty of time to try out different things. But I wouldn't be surprised if I headed in that direction.
And have you thought about careers?
Um, I have a little bit. I kind of have like some crazy like ideas of careers.
What you tell us a crazy idea?
So like volcanologists
Okay.
that like study in and around volcanoes,
Yeah.
and uh, areas of volcanic activity. I think that'd be like an awesome job.
Yeah.
Just
Did
being
you
able
see
to.
did you see 60 Minutes this past Sunday?
I didn't. Was it on volcanologists?
Yeah, there's an active volcano in Iceland, and yeah, they had quite a long piece on it, which you can find it on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll have to go watch that.
Yeah, and then I was going through my Yahoo news feed today, there was something about that there's, I guess, a super volcano under Yellowstone National Park. And I didn't read the article, but the article was about, well, what would happen if this super volcano exploded there.
Yeah.
So that's a crazy idea. Do you have safe ideas?
Um, you know,
And actually, it's not too crazy. I mean, there are volcanologists.
yeah. Uh, if you have like an earth science or oceanographic science degree, I mean, there's a pretty wide range of things you can do.
Mhm.
Um, like there's so much land and water everywhere, especially like in Maine. There's a lot of different places I could end up working,
Mhm.
in the field, something like environmentally related.
Is that a goal of yours? Would you like to be able to stay in Maine after you graduate from college?
I definitely like to stay in Maine for a portion of my life.
Yeah.
Um, I'm pretty adventurous, so I'd also
Mhm.
like to travel,
Mhm.
just like see different places, experience them.
Mhm.
But I do love Maine, and I definitely like to stay here.
Mhm. You've mentioned a couple of times how you like the outdoors. What are some of the things you like to do outdoors?
Um, I enjoy hiking, kayaking, pretty much anything. Like, um, I want to try like mountain biking and surfing and a few other things. But if someone asks me to, go on a trip outside with them, I'll 99% of the time say yes.
Yeah. So you're looking forward to the outing club at Bowdoin.
Definitely.
Did you have an outing club at Halldale?
Um, yeah, so I kind of started a little outing club with an advisor and a few of my friends. We went on 2 trips. We went on one trip to Tumbledown Mountain,
Okay.
and we
Did you
also
make it through the hole?
we did we made it through the Fat Man's Misery,
Yeah.
and I
Did you go swimming?
we did. it was, gosh, I think it was October or November,
Ooh, it sounds
but
cool.
yeah, I convinced 3 or 4 others to take a dip with me,
Mhm.
and I actually had to lift up one of my friend's dogs through the fat man's misery,
Wow.
through the pull and tumble down. So
Mhm.
that was a fun time.
What was the other trip?
And the other trip was a trip to Acadia.
Mhm.
So we took the gorge path up to Cadillac,
Mhm.
and then we went to Sand Beach for a little bit and kind of walked around the Beehive.
Mhm. Do you have favorite hikes in Maine?
Um, the Beehive is pretty cool. It's pretty steep. It's called the Beehive because it's kind of shaped like a beehive.
Mhm.
So as you would imagine, it's pretty steep, and there's like all these ladders and rungs
Mhm.
that you can use to traverse up the side of the mountain. But I I guess I'd have to say like that's my favorite, but um, there's definitely like so many close seconds.
Mhm. Very good. What are your plans for the summer?
Plans for the summer. Um, Planning a couple outdoors trips with friends, working.
Do you know where you're going?
Um, right now I have a trip planned to the Forks.
To
Trying to plan.
go rafting?
Yeah, got another trip in the works up to Katahdin.
Have you climbed Katahdin?
I have only once though, so I definitely want to go again.
What route did you take?
I went up the A-Ball Trail.
Okay. And you're going to try a different trail the next time?
Yeah, I think so. I think I might try Cathedral.
Ha, Cathedral. Make sure you go with people who know what they're doing. It's
Okay.
tough.
Okay.
Uh, Good. Well, I wish you well with your summer plans. And I thank you for taking the time to speak to us and congratulate you on your success in the essay contests and in school. Congratulations on graduating and getting yourself into a good school. I hope it goes well.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
All right. So that will conclude our 47th Zoom interview. Thank you very much for watching.